Hello, this is Rick Guptill with RoboSim Pro. This is a demo on reading in M&G codes and translating them into PDL2 code. So this is a cell that we made up that just kind of briefly shows as in a test cell to read in some M&G codes. This is a teacher that we can move around. It's like a reference frame. And then wherever we put that reference frame, then that's where the center of 0, 0 will be of the translation. And this plate is just to show the tracing that we're going to do. So we have an application called Read M&G Coders. It's already selected the robot. The reference frame is going to be this teacher we mentioned. We're going to have, this is the original name of the file, but we found that when we translate it, these special characters aren't allowed in the PDL2 code, so we made this version, and this version has some XYZ commands that are without a G01, so we changed it so that we can just read it in with no errors. And then we can set some default parameters. One here is we can, we're going to select this move the robot during the process so that we can actually see a trace here. If we get to a point where we don't need to, we can just say, read it in, translate it, read it in, translate it. But right now we're going to, when we import it, we're going to actually also look at it. It's just going to be interesting to see. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the user frame size, or these little frames. It puts a frame at every place to 1 millimeter, because I've seen it's fairly detailed and fairly small. And then what we can do is we can trace. We have a lot of tools here. We can trace this ceiling gun. We have no idea. We called it a ceiling gun. We didn't know what the application was. This tool can be modified to be the exact tool, or if it's not necessary. So it creates this. This is essentially what the file is that we read in, this copy G2. And so it has tons of straight motion and different levels on it. And what we can do is when we start to run this, we actually create another program here that we're going to translate into PDL language. Okay, so this first step is just to sort of verify that we're reading in these M&G codes correctly. So we can see what happens is it looks like there's 3 different levels, or 3 different traces on each level, and then it goes up another level. So we can either show those frames or not, and we can show the tracing or not, or we can even not even have the robot move. We can just trace it. I'm going to pause the movie making for just a little bit and come back when it's just about done. Okay, we're back, and it looks like we're just about done. You can see that looks like there's maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 levels to this, something like that. So what we can do now is that we have it. We can then translate this into PDL code. So right here, this PDL program that we wrote, if we just save it, it will now convert this whole thing, and we can convert this whole run into one path, and then the path will have all the values in it. So here is the code that we produced. These are the 2 main files here. I'll just edit those. Now you can see that these are all there's the program right there. And LSV file. Okay, so in the next video what we're going to do is we're going to pop that into RoboSim and run that. All right, thanks.